For some reason, despite having vibe coded this, allegedly calming experience of porcelain bowls clanking, not clinging. They're not clinging. They're clanking into each other, clocking.
Mm-hmm.
Like clacking into each other. Despite vibe code, I don't know if I'm more nervous about hosting a virtual event or a real world event, because I've done both. Don't get me wrong, but there's some. I mean, I do live streams all the time. It's what I get hired to do, like a hosting of webinars all the time, and I love doing it. Don't get me wrong, but knowing that tonight we've got a 3D printer I want to give away. I want to see what happens with the virtual event, because I want to do more of them, and really kind of dovetailing the real world experience we had with people that were interested in vibe coding and kind of bringing it online. We're giving away a 3D printer courtesy of MakerDeck, which runs 24/7 on Twitch. If you're interested in 3D printing at all, if you've never 3D printed, if you've never vibe coded or 3D printed, this is the night for you. Let me tell you. Let me go ahead and welcome in a fellow. Well, I'd say Tech Jeeper's probably more of a real vibe coder than I am. He's done like legit platforms here. I'm messing around with, fun. I mean, there's no wrong way of doing it. That's the thing with vibe coding. You sit down, you've got an idea. If you know enough to be dangerous, you start and you go. And, I was answering questions. We've got and this is how the virtual event is going to work. The Discord server is wide open for everybody to join, and for this one, it's in the November 2025 Vibe-a-Thon. How long will this Vibe-a-Thon last? I don't really know. A couple hours, a few hours, not really sure. Hopefully, it will last longer than my electricity. Just so you know, there's a windstorm. Matt and I live close to each other, and so if we flicker and drop, yeah, that might happen. I don't know if it will happen. That's why I'm nervous about it. So if you have questions, again, join the Discord server. That's where you can participate, share the links that you're working on. If you have public links, if you have questions, kind of a way to get them, or answered, not asked. You can ask questions, then we can get them answered. I realized after putting all this up there, I don't have a link. Oh, I do have a link to the Discord server. In the bottom of the page, you just click join community, and that should take you over to the Discord server. There we go, just like that, and you can accept the invite. That's over there on my arcade page. And then, do you want that link? Okay, fine. Here's the link to the arcade. I can paste it into a few places where I'm commenting, and then the community link. Let me go ahead and copy that link address. Now, I'm streaming in multiple places, but wherever you happen to be watching, that's great. That's the link to the Discord server, as well as the arcade, where I've now done Tech Jeeper. I don't know if over 100 apps. Can you believe that?
You're a madman.
Yes, I am mad.
It was funny because I was just on another stream, and somebody was talking about the ticks clocks that you used to have, and I pulled up.
Still has them.
The virtual one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right there. That was like one of the first things I vibe coded, right? Do you remember? Were you there when I vibe coded the ticks clocks emulator?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I was just blown away. That was not even maybe 9 months ago, March, something like that. So anyway, thank you for tuning in wherever you are. I appreciate that. Pixel is going to be joining us. He's there with me every Tuesday night. We do normal vibe coding. I'm sorry, Thursday night we do vibe coding streams. On Tuesday nights, we do maker streams in my normal feeds. But I'm glad you are ready, Blair. Welcome aboard. The Maka says, I'm still not sure I understand what's going on. I'm here to hang out. Hey, you know what? Here's what's going on. This is the plan. We're going to come up with a keyword, and then y'all take that keyword and then vibe code something around it. And then as you're working, right, we're going to be talking, we're going to be chatting, we're going to be doing stuff here on the screen. But you can share your progress if you have public links in the Discord chat, if you will. That's probably the easiest way to do it, so that we've got an archive of what was happening, the various links, the various things that were going on. But as I said, one random participant at the end of the night, when all the surveys have come in for the what people have produced will get a 3D printer. And if you run it, well, what 3D printer? I'm just going to get the same one that I've got running on my desk, an A1 Mini, a Bamboo A1 Mini, which for whatever it's worth right now are they're selling for like $200 Black Friday.
$199, yeah.
Yeah, $199, which is a fantastic deal, an amazing deal. That's like, as far as I'm concerned, that's impulse buy territory. And I think for vibe coding, it's very much in the realm of 3D printing. Maybe more in the software side of things, obviously, but just the idea that you're making. And I think that's why I was bitten just as hard with the vibe coding bug as I was with 3D printing, if you will. And that's something that I'm hoping, can kind of spread that interest around. And I know people have. I think TechJeeper, like I said, is done a little more in depth, or gone more in depth with the platforms that he's created in vibe coding than I have. Pretty much everything that I've done, websites, I've done this, including this webpage where all the apps are basically showing. Although I have not uploaded the bowls yet. This was inspired by an art installation in France, by the way. These floating bowls that clang into each other. Other shaders that I've not yet uploaded, but these were all vibe coded. I love these types of experiences where I could, set the shader and then randomize and then just get a completely different visual. And then if I like it, I can export a unique 4K wallpaper. And of course, you can go in and hit various sliders and change the dynamics of what you see on screen. But that's the beauty of vibe coding. If you know what you want to do, you just tell the whatever AI tool you're using what it is you want, and then let it work. Right? You think like a customer, think like a product manager, and that's the thing. Don't get tripped up on the idea of coding and that you're an engineer. You need to be a tech expert. You don't. You just need to know what it is that you want to do, and then find a tool that's appropriate to do the thing that it is you want to do. A question that came in on the Discord server, and there's TechJeeper and Otter's Danger Den. Someone was asked, well, what do you guys use for vibe coding? And everyone uses something different. I happen to be a huge fan of Google Gemini because a lot of what I create, by and large, single page HTML apps, I would say all of them are on GitHub. I uploaded a couple of new ones over the past few days because it was kind of a little hectic, but I did a screen saver for Halloween. It's kind of fun. Like, you can randomize, you can export the image, and you can even go in and you can set it to auto refresh every few seconds. So you can have it on your screen and a different pumpkin face pops on every few seconds. That was kind of fun. That one's not on GitHub yet, but it was kind of timely to get it out before Halloween, and it was kind of ramping up to, what can I do to it's Halloweeny and it's vibe coding. I want to kind of promote the event, but I want to do it in such a way that, what would be interesting to kind of play with indefinitely. It didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted, but it worked well enough. It was what I needed it to do. And Shane says, think like a customer, where's that pile of lead chips? Well, the customer in this case is always right. You are the ultimate boss of AI, at least at this point in time. And that's what I've learned in doing as much as I've done over the past, like I said, about since March, 9-10 months, including the blinking 12 o'clock. This was a tough one right here. Just getting it to blink the way this took all of, I think, 5 minutes to create this app. And then when you hit refresh, it's a different background and a different font. I kind of keep it. Did y'all remember the blinking 12 o'clocks everywhere? Which you should probably get used to if you have power outages like we are about to potentially have here where Matt and I live. And then remember, tonight is daylight saving time. So it's fall back. So we're gaining an hour of sleep tonight. I don't know. I haven't vibe coded anything like that, but I did a time zone app converter thing that I uploaded to the arcade. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining, including Daniel. What's up, everyone? He's over there on LinkedIn. As I said, I'm streaming everywhere I possibly can. Thanks again, Matheson, for all of your support, and including resubbing there. on Twitch. It's very much appreciated. So wherever you're tuning in, get your vibe coding tool ready. You don't have one, again, I'm happy to make various recommendations. Let me go ahead and say, before we get going, too deep, Every is still sponsoring this. Every came in to sponsor the real world event that happened here in Seattle. We had 50 people show up at AWS, Amazon, the skills center that they have there in Seattle, and hope to do another in-person event. Don't know if it's going to be at the same place or a different place. That remains to be seen. But what's cool about Every is that if you've got a business that you've started and you need to get it registered, they will register your C Corp for free right now. I think it's the C Corp. Yep. Incorporate your C Corp for free. So if you come up with an idea and launch a business, or you need to form a business around the idea, this is the best way to do it because it's free. That part certainly is free. And so I'm very grateful for their support. Lindy, a friend of mine for a number of years, I celebrated a few holidays with her and her family over the past couple of years. And she let Jedi, my daughter, ride their horses. It was a lot of fun. She may be popping in tonight during this broadcast. That would be wonderful. Another person who maybe should be popping in tonight, I believe that's what's going to happen. I know it's a Saturday evening, but the idea that y'all are here is wonderful. Google had approached me after hearing that I was doing this vibe coding event in Seattle. The Google Jules team specifically said, "Hey, we're interested in sponsoring." I'm like, let's see here. I'm doing an event and Google wants to sponsor it too? Okay, twist my arm.
This sounds like a request related to the sponsor block extension.
That's not what that's wrong Google. I gotta be careful when I say Google. Google Jules. Not oh, no. When you own a Google phone, sometimes it doesn't know if you're asking Google or you're just talking about Google. Okay, it didn't trip there. Either way, we're going to have a PM from the Google Jules team possibly coming in here and potentially demonstrating Google Jules, and certainly to say hello. They have supported this event. It's wonderful to see. If you're doing something that requires GitHub or you're uploading a repository to GitHub, you're looking for an asynchronous agent to fix bugs, add features, Google Jules makes it very, very simple. It is, for all intents and purposes, free if you're already using Google, if you got a Google subscription. I'm using Google Gemini Pro that I got for free by buying the Google Pixel 10, which I also got for free after the exchange. So I'm on the pro level of Jules, but if you just have a basic account, you can try it. And of course, it's also available in Google AI, the Ultra subscription. So it's available across the board. That's Google Jules. And I don't know, this is probably something that would be very interesting to, as much as I've got smaller repositories, TechJeeper probably has deeper repositories against which he would be able to toss Google Jules to work, on his behalf. That's the beauty of it. Good to see you, K2 Kevin. You want to talk about another machine? Every time I turn around, he's cranking out something different on the maker side of things, not the making software necessarily. Although I got to ask TechJeeper, you must have worked with K2, or unless you didn't, on the MakerChip website where people can register maker chips?
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
So if you're a maker, you might know of maker chips, a great little way of getting a QR code or a way for people to follow you. They're done like poker chips. There's a standard that's now been set largely by K2 Kevin and supported ostensibly by Pezliz, who, if you're in the maker community, you know. So either way, K2, it is good to see you. Good to see everyone. Saints Angel, great to see you once again. Goat, always good to have you here as well. And speaking of Google Jules, this is before we get going on tonight's keyword, or as we get going, let me go ahead and introduce one of the people from the Google Jules team. Thank you so much for joining. And it's just AK?
AK, yeah.
Awesome.
How are y'all?
Doing wonderful. Or well enough.
Thank you for having us. This is having me. This is exciting.
Honestly, it's funny because people ask questions all the time, like, how do I get started? What do I use? And tools like, and I'm not just saying this because you're here and that you've been supportive. Tools like Google Jules make it very, very easy. I mean, when I'm not an engineer, but I am, creating all of these, apps, which are also on GitHub, these single page apps. do I really want to work on a bug fix? If someone has a complaint or an issue, they post to GitHub, or do I just want to, put an agent on it? And that's exactly where I've been recommending in a parallel capacity Google Jewels just for that. So good on you for, getting it out there. And I'm grateful for the support as well as the tool that you've been making.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to show you all kind of how we on the Google team use Jewels, like how I recommend folks who are looking to build things, use Jewels. Like I think ultimately we're just trying to build really cool products for builders, and I know this is like a builder community, so excited to share it a little bit more.
Very much. At our in-person event, I did the spinner. We took a whole bunch of from the community who were there on site. We picked a random word. It happened to be cradle. Someone mentioned cradle. Cradle was the keyword, and we vibe coded cradle. But tonight, I'm going to say the keyword. So this keyword, if you're listening, you're watching, you're vibe coding. And as I said, not just on Discord, but earlier, if you don't know where to start with vibe coding, and I know, AK, I swear, everything I've done has been in Gemini. Gemini has become my go-to since, and I know you're not specifically on the Gemini team, but 2.5 Pro was released, and that was it. I was like, oh my God, this is so easy, so clean. It works well enough. Maybe not perfect. Tools are still evolving, but I've been able to do 99% of what I do on there. So if you don't know which tool to start with, there's more full featured tools like I had recommended on Discord there, Rocket being one, Mocha being another. You may have heard of Lovable, Bolt, and the whole 9 yards. But Gemini, just for starters, to make a web app, because the web, you've got a web browser. You might even be able to trip through HTML if you run into various issues in there. So if you want to get started, the keyword for tonight is thanks. So something about thanks or thankful. It could be Thanksgiving related to thanking, thank you. It could be anything, a game. It could be, an app, maybe it's a greeting card organizer, a checklist, a task list of who you need to thank, whatever it happens to be. It's this simple to get started. You head over to your tool and you type in make a web app that does X, Y, and Z. And then it does it. Now on Gemini, when you start saying create a web app that's a task list to remind me who I need to thank. Okay, just like that. I would then choose tools, Canvas, although I think recently it automatically trips Canvas. And then I just hit enter and then go from there. It's that simple. And then you go. And then if it doesn't do what you want it to do, you tell it what you want it to do. And then it does it. Now let's say, again, going a little deeper, now I'm going to basically toss it over to AK. You want to go deeper, and let's say you kind of hit a roadblock, and maybe it's not working the way you want, or it's working well enough, but you just want to get it out there, upload it to a GitHub repository, and then get Google Jewels. So with that, as I'm vibe coding here, AK, thanks again for joining and the support that you've given throughout all of this. It's been a journey for me, and I'm curious to know, how did Google Jewels come about?
Oh, so it's been about a year now.
So we had the idea about a year ago.
Okay.
And at that time, CLIs weren't even like a thing. It was like all like IDE based coding tools. And it was still very much like code completion. And so Google Jewels was founded in Google Labs. We worked very closely with Google DeepMind. And that early partnership, we were thinking about like agentic workflows. And we're like, these agents are way more capable than we think or know externally. And so we were thinking about like, what can these agents do? And the agents that were out there were very much like these synchronous like agents that you sit in front of the computer and you're having these conversations with. And there was a lot of them. And so we were thinking about like, what is something that Jewels could do that may be different than all the other tools out there. And so we started thinking about kind of what is like a developer workflow. And one thing that we noticed that like there was, and even today, there really isn't that many tools out there around like the async workflow. And so I'll kind of walk through show a few demos of what that async workflow really means and what that actually looks like. But I'll say in short terms, like, whenever you're building something, let's say you're adding a feature to a game that you're working on, right? And you're in flow, and then you run into a bug, and then you run into another bug, and you're like, I got to work on this. And then you have two paths that you can take. You can say, I'm going to stop my flow, and the fun thing I was working on, I'm going to go work on this bug, which is kind of annoying. Or you can say, I'm just going to keep doing my thing. I'll come back to this bug later, and hopefully you come back to it, or you may not ever come back to it. And so what we have seen is like, those were the only two paths that people could take. And with Jules, I think that the thing that we are really trying to explore is how can we, developers before this were like very single threaded, like they were doing one task at once. How can we give folks like an army of agents that work autonomously while you're doing something, and it can just kind of work on those things in the background? And so in the example I just shared, like, I'm in flow, I'm trying a new feature, run into a bug. Instead of having to like add it to a to-do list or like stop my flow, I'll just give Jules that bug, and I'll keep doing my thing. And I know that Jules will be working on it, and I have confidence that I can go back and I can check on how it's done. And so it's a way of really multiplying yourself and like being able to do a bunch of things at once. And for your audience, I think one thing that we are shipping in like a week, I think maybe 2 weeks, is you no longer need GitHub to get started. So you can just get started in Jules. And I know that's been a huge feature request, so I think that will be very, very highly used.
Yeah, because Matheson even asked us, so Jules can't start from zero. So it's
perfect.
It's kismet.
You can, yeah, totally. You can in a couple weeks. So be on the lookout on the Jules Agent Twitter handle. I think let me know how Chris, how you want me to do this. Like, we can jump into demos. I can give a little bit of a few things.
Yeah, if you want to share your screen, run a demo, do your thing. I mean, honestly, it's just as good to do that, because again, people are going to be vibe coding, assumedly, around the word thanks tonight. Vibe, because I want to see what everyone's going to do with it. I'm genuinely curious. So yeah, if you want to share your screen, if there's an icon at the bottom, and then I'd be able to pull it up, that'd be the easiest way. If anybody who's like Pixel's here, he knows to use OBS otherwise. And TechJeeper, I think, are you using OBS for your screen share, TechJeeper?
I'm using just StreamYard for the.
Yeah, if you want to bring up your screen, do it by way of OBS. But AK, you can use the native.
Cool.
You can use the native screen share.
Amazing. And maybe before I jump into the demos, a few things I want to call out that, if you're like new to Jules and you haven't heard of it before, which many of you are, I think I'll just do a quick what is Jules? And so Jules is unique in that a lot of the agents that you may try are all kind of local agents like Claude Code, Codex, etc., Gemini CLI. Jules runs in a remote VM. And so it's not running on your local computer, it's running in a VM. And that's...
I love.
I think it's like super compelling for a few different reasons. One, like I feel like I hear cases, unfortunately, I think it's gotten better, but like a few months ago, I would hear cases of like these agents that have access to your entire local computer, and they would just like go around and mess around with the operating system files and like corrupting things and touching things that it shouldn't. Like when everything runs in a VM, like if that happens, great, just turn the VM off. Like, it's like very much like in this like isolated world. The other thing that people have been using it for is like super long running tasks, right? So like when you have a local agent, it terminates when you close your computer. And like we've had people run agents for like days. And like when you think about I want to migrate from one language to another, or one framework to another. That's like kind of like, especially if you have a meaningfully like meaty repo, like that's a long process. And so people have been running it for a while. And then the other thing that's really cool is like you can access it from your phone. So just like pull up Chrome and then Jules and just like on the go. Matt, who is like helping us with some DevRel, but he started off as a user. That's how we found him. He was laid off from his software engineering job, and unfortunately, trying to get his feet back. But he's been delivering Amazon packages as a day job, and he'll stay in touch with like software and like build really cool things. And I don't necessarily recommend anyone else doing this, but what he does is he'll like drop a package, start a Jules task, drop the next package, check on the Jules task. And so like while he's delivering packages, he's like you should check his Twitter out. I forgot his it's on. I retweet him a lot, so you can find it on my Twitter. But
For sure.
he's created some really, really cool stuff. And with that, I will just start sharing my screen, and we'll
Please,
kind of
yes.
talk through some stuff.
I'll see if I can find his link as you're doing that too. To make sure people can get it.
Okay.
We'll make sure we'll get it on Discord too.
Love it. Okay, let me share.
Always fun. Yeah, these are the types of tools. Like, I was running a local IDE, and then I reinstalled macOS because I was not happy at all with macOS Tahoe. Rolled back, or I should say, upgraded back to Sequoia. And so I lost everything, right? And I just like, do I really want to reinstall everything? And I'm more and more, this is one of the reasons I love Gemini. It's like, it's all in the cloud. It's all, browser based. I can pull it up in the app. And the more I can do that, the more independent I am, the less tied to a specific computer I am, the happier I am.
Totally.
Okay. So we've got your screen up.
Amazing. Okay. So I have a few demos that we can make Thanksgiving themed, but the first one is, let's see. I have a Tetris game that I like, a very simple Tetris game that I flipped from someone on the internet. And so super simple. It's in React, and it's like very, very basic Tetris. And so the thing that I want to do here is, let's say I'm going to pull up Gemini CLI, one of my favorite CLI tools. And so I'm just going to go through that scenario that we talked about. So like, in Gemini CLI, I'm going to try to create a new feature. And so the feature is like, let's create some hidden bombs in the game. Maybe not hidden. Let's make it like real. Like bombs. Like think of, what is that game I used to play on Windows where like you press the squares and it tells you how close you are to a bomb?
Minesweeper?
Minesweeper, yeah. Kind of like Minesweeper. Maybe that only makes sense to me.
No, it doesn't. Trust me. I vibe coded a Minesweeper clone, and Pixels here has vibe coded. He did a Sandtris Tetris sand. It works really, really well.
That's awesome. And so like let's just say like kind of like Minesweeper, you have to avoid the bombs but still complete levels, etc. Whatever. And so we're just gonna start this task. And let's say I'm like really in flow. I'm like building this out, and this is a public repo, and someone just like starts adding bugs, and like some of these bugs are like, I like, yes, these shapes should drop faster. I agree. But I don't want to stop doing this thing because this thing I'm doing is like a lot of fun. And so maybe what I'll do is I'll just like copy and paste this into Jules. And so I'll open up Jules. Go to retro this. I'll go into the repo. This is where you select the repo. You can select what branch you're working off of. You can add different files and that kind of thing. And there's a bunch of different kind of interaction modes. For now, we'll just stick to the default, which is plan and go. So I'm going to start this task. And so this task is going to just like Jules, like as you can tell, this is a very vague prompt, right? And what Jules does, the agent, is it'll look through the repo. It'll try to make sense of like, what does this mean? And they'll create a plan of how it's going to solve the problem. And I can look at the plan, I can like give feedback, or give it in this plan mode, it'll just auto approve after 2 minutes. And so it just kind of like goes to the races. And so here you saw some helper text here, like of it opening VM, it's cloning the repo, and you'll see kind of the progress. And so here, now I can just kind of go back and okay, what is Gemini CLI doing? It's starting to apply some changes. We're going to do this. And so right now off the bat, you can see I'm multi-threading, right? So I'm working on this feature and I'm kind of addressing a bug that I want to address as well. And so then let's really put gasoline on this. I am working on this one. Now I want the background. This is like a great piece of feedback someone gave me. I want to replace the background with this thing. Great, sounds good. We have a Jules integration where you can apply the Jules label directly in GitHub. And so I've applied the Jules label, and it should pretty soon come back with a comment saying Jules is on this. And
pretty much in real time.
In real time, there it is. Jules is on it. And so it started off a task. And so Now we have 3 tasks going. One is like what I call a foreground task, which is like what my focus is on, and then I have 2 background tasks of these 2 tasks like that are Jules working on in the background. So we'll go back to the first one. Can you make the shapes drop faster? You'll see this is the plan that it came up with. So it's going to modify the drop speed. It's going to run the application, verify the changes. It's going to, like submit the code, etc. You'll see here the plan auto approves in a minute. I can just let it run, or I can just hit approve plan. The plan looks good to me, so I'm just going to let it start running. And so again, back to going here. And I think the single multi-thread type workflow is a little unique, and like maybe not in folks is like you may not be super comfortable with it at first, just because it's like a lot happening. But like this is how like I found so much productivity in terms of just like trying a bunch of different things. And like I think ultimately like we're all building stuff, and if I can build it a little bit faster and just have more to show at the end of the day, like I'm all for it. And so this kind of workflow has like been super helpful for me.
So I'm curious, when I do an app, HTML, I upload it to GitHub, and I can of course bring Jules in. I'm used to using Google Gemini, the web app.
Yeah.
If or when it sounds like Jules goes native, what would be the difference between a Gemini session, let's say, and like a Jules working on like the same kind of code?
When you say Gemini session, are you talking about the Gemini like .com?
Yeah, like a chat.
Yeah. So there's a few different things. So I think one is the Gemini like chat app. It'll generate code, and it won't actually necessarily run the code. There's no execution environment. And so as we run this, we'll see like Jules will actually try to compile the repo, and it'll try to actually run the code because there's a lot of stuff that comes up when you actually try to run the code. You'll run into like compile errors, you run into lint errors, and you're like, oh, this code actually isn't valid. And so Jules will actually try to resolve and fix those things itself. And so that when Jules runs, it actually like verify the changes. It also is like intended to be like a general purpose tool. And so like we've had a ton of Vibe coders use this product. We've also had a ton of like senior software engineers work on it. And the reason it works for both is that like it, like the Gemini web app is super great for like prototyping. I just want to like put something out there. But Jules also works on like really mature repos, and we actually like part of our like how we measure quality is like we look at a lot of like mature repos and just see like, is it doing well on this? And so you can throw literally anything at Jules, and so anything from like very simple prototyping from like try something to like I have this like thing in like I don't know like Cobalt and I want to upgrade it or something, and like I'm not promising Jules will solve the world, but like it can handle a lot more meaty tasks than kind of like what Gemini on the web does.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like a full-fledged, in the fact that you said basically runs in a virtual machine, compiles the repository, gets it running. What about testing?
Yeah, so if there are tests in your repo, it will always write tests and like run the tests. If there's no tests, it will just like it will try, and if you don't want there to be tests, then like you can specify that. But like Jules is like the agent is written to like really be test driven, and like tests can be in different shapes. Like if you have like a proper test framework, like it'll do that, or it'll like if you don't have one, like I think this repo doesn't have one, it'll just like look for like just like basic compile things as well. And so we have so you've seen this, you saw this run. So like basically right now it's like running npm install. It's doing all the basics to like get this like thing running. And like going back to our question earlier, Jules or Gemini on the web couldn't handle existing repos, right? That's like exclusively start from scratch. I think they have a GitHub integration now, but like you can't like do the whole like mature repo, check out, open up a branch, etc. So like this is something where I came in with the repo. I'm asking it to like run things and verify. So here is an example of this specific task that I ran earlier, and we can go through this. So basically, it ran into some issues with this is a lot of like the agent thinking. So it ran npm builds like, well, unknown command build. What does that mean? So it's going to run. Oh, it's like, oh, npm run build, and then that didn't work. So it's like I got to run npm install. So it runs npm install. So ultimately, kind of like thinks through like what exactly we need to do here. It ran npm test. There's no test, and so it didn't do that. But what a few things that it does do that I think are super helpful in the absence of tests is it'll actually generate the front end. So right now, in this case, it compiled the repo, opened up a dev server, and took a screenshot and sent it to me. And so in this specific case, like when it's like make the shapes drop faster, like this screenshot wasn't super helpful. We're working on sending videos soon, so you'll be able to see it. But like if I did like the background task, which we can check out in a second, like you'll see like the actual thing show up in the background.
Wow.
It's do you have to give it compute for that, or is it just running on the back end of the Jules infrastructure?
Just running on the back end, all on the VM.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
I have. Oh, actually, let's just kick off another task while we're talking about this, because I have another example that's similar to this. So I have a website. This is my website, and I don't know if you all remember Nano Banana or remember hearing about the Nano Banana craze.
Oh yeah,
we use it all the time.
Love it.
yes,
love
he
it.
does.
And so I wanted to jump in on this thing, and so I committed this little me in a banana suit as like an Easter egg into my repo. And so I am going to go into my repo, my website, and I'll just say like I have this file. I have this file in my repo. I want to add an Easter egg where if someone hovers over my profile picture, they see the banana profile.jpg. And I start a task. And this is another example. We'll come back to this when it finishes, where again, like it'll send a screenshot of it like actually trying the thing. The cool thing about Jules, and you all should try this because it's really fun to see it. I think I tweeted an example about this the other day. I was working on a game, just like a very simple Wordle game, just like for another demo, and Jules like actually played the game to make sure like the logic worked, because there's no test in the repo. So like it was a Wordle game about like football. And so it like tried a football player's name, it was like wrong, and then it tried Messi and it was correct. And so like it was cool to see like Jules like actually play the game to verify that it actually worked. So that's kind of like one level of like verification that helps when you like are working on some of these like kind of multi-threaded autonomous tasks.
So does it have any kind of understanding of the program as a whole when it's trying to fix errors?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah, it does. So a lot of one thing we're working on is showing more agent thinking, so you can kind of follow along with the agent's doing. We kind of initially were like, that's a lot of information that people don't want to see, and so like so we hit it, but like people are craving it. All that to say is like when we enable agent thinking for you all to see it, like you'll see the agent reasoning through. So like here, when it created this plan, when it says like I'll edit, like I didn't specify what file this was in, right? And so what it does is it like, runs like bash commands, like it'll use ls and be like, okay, what of these files are relevant to the task at hand? It'll go through the different files and be like, okay, maybe it's this file. And then I'll look through the file, kind of look through the code and be like, it's this code snippet. And so to like start even like generating a plan, it will like try to make sense of the entire repo, or at least parts of the repo that it thinks are relevant to the task at hand. Okay, so the other few things I wanted to mention that I think are super cool and novel that are different than other agents and different than definitely Gemini Web is at the end of a Jules task, it will run code review. And so think of this as a different agent. So we have the main agent writing the code. We have this thing called a critic agent. That's like an adversarial agent. And the whole point of this critic agent is to find faults with the first agent, right? And so it's like, hey, did you actually answer the user's goal? Did you write good code? And so like here, you'll see the thinking. It's like, okay, the user's goal is that they want to increase the speed. And this is how it came up with the solution. So this critic agent's thinking to itself, like, is it doing the right thing? So it's like, okay, did it achieve the goal? Did it, was it complete and functional? Was it correct? Was the scope, like, is it like a massive change or is it are these like small things? And then did it send like a screenshot? And so here, like, the screenshot, there's no sensitive information. The screenshot showed that this was like did not break the initial render. So like it really like pressure tests itself to make sure that it like did a good job. And so this runs at the end of every Jules task, and it's like another layer of just like making sure like what Jules is doing is like correct and intended. And we've seen a ton of like quality improvements come out of just the critic agent.
So when they say agent, and I've looked into this before, but
Yeah.
I guess the way that I'm thinking of it is it's a separate agent would be like a separate entity if you want. But couldn't that be baked into the main agent to double check itself?
Totally. I think the reason that we wanted a separate agent is we didn't want the context of the first agent to pollute the second agent, right? We wanted we wanted the critic agent to come in with fresh eyes and go like from scratch, like, did this thing answer the question?
Right.
Yeah, it's like digital pair programming. You have two programmers sitting there, and they're keeping an eye on each other. It makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. One other thing that I have in front of me that I think is worth talking about is memories. This is something that's like pretty novel. I think like Claude just released this like last week, but we've had this for like I think like a month or so now, and we're gonna keep like we ship a lot on the Jules team. Like you follow our Twitter, like we're like constantly adding things. But memory is something that we've also seen like a really cool increase in quality. And so basically how memory works is that at the end of a Jules task, we ask Jules to like reflect back on what it discovered, this whole conversation, any nudges the user gave it, and create things that it should notate for future. And so here, running the full test suite with npm test causes a timeout. Better to run the test on specific files if possible. This is something that it generated because it saw that like npm test caused a timeout. Here it's like, hey, this is a React-based game, like the core logic is located here. And so the next time it's trying to update core logic, it doesn't need to like explore everything it knows. It took notes on like, hey, this is this is where the file is. The project is managed by npm, installed using npm install. This was really cool because I ran into this locally, and I didn't even tell Jules to do this, but it like when I run npm start, there was an open SSL error, and so like it like reminds itself that you need to add this command argument when starting it. All this happened. I didn't write any of this. Jules just like decided it was like this is things that will help for future sessions. And I can add memory too. I can just say like refer to me as sir every time or something. I don't actually know if that. Hopefully that'll work, but that's like I can create memories myself.
Sure.
So again, these are like things that like we're like doing very uniquely in Jules that like we've seen a ton of like quality and success coming out of it.
A lot of what I use memories for in terms of like programming is I'll set it up so that it doesn't apologize to me, that kind of thing,
exactly. Yeah. Or say, yeah, you're completely right. Like that's the other part that's like kind of annoying. Okay, so let's check in on some of these tasks. This one didn't take a screenshot, unfortunately. This was the background one, but we did have looks like valid code. And so here, it did update the background to the thing. And so the cool thing about Jules is like the free tier is 15 tasks per day, which may sound like not a lot. These tasks, the secret thing that we don't necessarily advertise too broadly, but I will with your audience, is there's no end to these tasks. So you can take one task and just keep going on it forever. There's obviously trade-offs, like the longer the task, like the longer it takes, like it may be degrading in quality after a period of time. But like the thing that is cool is like I can just say, actually, I don't like this. Use a different image from Unsplash. And so this is still counts as one task. And so I can just keep iterating on this and thinking of different things. The other thing that Jules has is it has network access, and it has access to Google search. And so it can just search the web for new images or documentation. And those are kind of like the use cases we see a lot. Switching back to profile picture. This is still working, and so we'll see how it goes. Any questions while we're kind of waiting on a few tasks?
I find it curious. I love the fact that it's like, well, this didn't work. Well, let me try this. This didn't work. Let me try it. I work the same way. Like, wait, that didn't work. Does this work? What about this one? Okay, did I get the command wrong? I just love the fact that it troubleshoots in much the same way as, well, at least I have.
Totally. And so like here, like, and like Jules, like, I won't like oversell it and say like it gets everything right every single time. Like here, like it sent me a screenshot. It didn't have the image, but the nice thing is like, these tasks are cheap. Like I can just prompt it and keep going and just say, hey, I did. Oh, actually, it might catch itself in code review. Let's see what it says about a static image cannot validate the hover functionality, but the code logic is correct and would produce a desired visual change. So I think
it works theoretically.
Yeah, and like I've run this specific example in the past, and it works, and so I don't know. But in this case, like, you can just kind of iterate on it or try a few different ways of prompting it. You can always publish to GitHub at any point. So here I'm like publishing a branch. The right has like, diffs and all this stuff that you may need. And so, yeah, this is Jules in a nutshell. The other thing I'm not here for, but I think your users would find a lot of value in, and if you don't mind, I can just do a quick, like maybe 30-second demo on it.
Yeah, go for it.
Our sister team is called Stitch, and Stitch actually...
they just upgraded, didn't they?
What's that?
Didn't they just do an upgrade of sorts?
Yeah. So we just so this is like my sister team, but they just introduced a TL draw thing where you can like circle on like things. Basically, for those who aren't familiar, Stitch is an AI generated designer, which is really great because I suck at design. I don't know anything I'm doing about that stuff, and so here's like an app where like, I want to create an e-commerce page for a bird watching gear store. And so it'll generate mocks. And the cool thing is it'll generate code. And then we released a recent feature where you can export directly to Jules and have Jules like actually make this thing come to life.
That's cool.
And so this is really cool, at least for me, because I'm like, I can't tell the difference between two greens, or like, I just suck at design in general. I can like have this iterate like 5 different designs. Like you can say like, hey, like, make 4 versions of this that are all slightly different. I pick the best one. I can like kind of have like very specific design feedback, and it's been like super good for me.
Right.
Yeah,
and I would do the same thing with like Nano Banana, but then I would go and send out all of the pictures and upload them to like Imager, and then I'd go back through Gemini and upload it there, and it's a big hassle to do it that way, but
totally
that's the way I've had to do it recently.
It'll take what is being generated in Stitch and make it code.
Yeah.
Make it work.
Yeah. And so what you'll see as like, I think a natural question, and I'm sorry, I don't have, I can't see well because I only have one monitor, so I'm not sure if any questions have been coming through, but feel free to jump in if you do have any questions. One thing that's like a big focus for us the rest of this year, which there's only like 2 months left, is we're going to be heavy on integrations. And so that's something that like we hear a lot from users, like, hey, like, how is this different than Gemini CLI? How is it different than AI Studio? Like, Google has a lot of products. Like, when do I use what? And like, I think the ideal, like what we want is like, you shouldn't have to think about like what product, like they should all talk to each other. They should all like play nice with each other. And so Stitch is integrating with AI Studio, so you can take your designs directly to AI Studio. Like we're talking about a AI Studio Jules integration in the future. We have a Gemini CLI Jules integration already launched last week. And so there's like a bunch of different ways you can kind of engage with these tools. There's a lot of cool stuff. Like I work in Google Labs. We launched a tool called Pomeli last week, which is like marketing for your like SMB. So you like upload your website and it like gives you marketing campaigns, which is insane. And so there's just like so many cool things being built for builders right now that like I feel like this is the best time to just like start putting things into the universe because it's never been easier. And I think so I think this is a really fun time to build stuff.
Yeah, I've been prone to say there's never been a better time to be an entrepreneur, and seemingly every week, like there's something new that you couldn't do before. Like,
Totally.
I mean, just the idea of taking that effectively a wireframe or a souped up wireframe and be able to pass it along, let's say now to Jules, to have it actually, hey, make this thing happen. That's incredible.
What like maybe causes me a little bit of angst and like a positive angst maybe is like my wife's not in tech, and so like, you know, I talk to a lot of folks like in my family who are just not like very technical or not in the know of a lot of these things, and like a lot of the stuff we've talked about today has not reached the rest of the world, which means there's still so much opportunity like build new products for people. I had like, you know, like this is all just like pure upside for you all. Like you're in like the know of a very small group of people, I think.
We did have a question from Matheson asking, hey, can Jules access links to docs and such if I provide them?
Yes, it can, as long as it's public. So it looks at public links right now.
Did you so I know you showed it modifying your website, but I think the example prior to that was Python, correct? So what languages does it support in the back end?
It supports all. So it's meant to be a general purpose tool, and so it supports all languages. I think it will do better on like kind of coding languages that are more just like prevalent in its own training data. So it's as good as the Gemini model. And so like, for example, something I use pretty decently, I'll show you some examples, is I'm a hobby game developer, and I work on this like football management game using this game engine called Godot. And so this is in a language called GD script. And it's kind of like Python, but it's not. It has different kind of nuances. And so here, like, you know, I'm adding new archetypes, and it's a very vague prompt, but like it wrote code in GD script. You'll see here .gd. And so it can handle like pretty much any language. And so because it has access to the internet, has access to Gemini 2.5 Pro, like you should feel comfortable throwing everything at it. The things that may be hard for you right now are like mobile things. Like, so like there's a way to do Android development, like a headless version, but because you can't see the VM, it's like a little hard to like have like full interactivity. So if you're like working on like for example, like this, the VM is in Linux, and so that means like we can't do mobile, like iOS development really on Jules. And so that's like the main limitation. But like generally, other than that, like it's fair game, throw anything at it. All right, I'm gonna stop my screen. So stop sharing my screen so I can see you all again.
We're all here waiting with bated breath. That's incredible. Yeah,
that is awesome.
I knew Jules was powerful, but like that's next level.
Yeah, I just pointed so I did my initial project, and then I threw it up on GitHub like I usually did, and then I pointed Jules at it, and I could see it definitely improving my flow as far as how I work through the development process. So that's pretty awesome.
There's the other thing that I'll plug is we also have an API. So if you are like, hey, I want to create, like we had someone create a Discord like app, and they, you know, created the Discord app using Jules, and like anytime someone you like at Jules in Discord, it would like kick off a task. And so like if there's like workflows where you're like, man, I wish I had like a coding agent in this workflow somewhere, you can create your own kind of application using it.
Yeah, so y'all are just getting started, really.
We're getting started, and there's I think the rest of this year will be there will be a lot of launches, both from Google, Gemini, and Jules. I think there's like a bunch of really fun stuff coming our way.
Yeah, it's you know, I've run into limits a few times with the Gemini Pro. I'm at Gemini Pro.
Okay.
And I've hit I'm like, do I go to Ultra? I'm like, I don't know. I'm still very hobbyist. I'm still very,
Totally.
This is fascinating to me, but like, can I wait another, 12 hours till 11 a.m. or whatever my reset time is? So I haven't gone to Ultra yet. But I have, having now created these various apps, and running into certain limitations, knowing that a tool like Jules exists, especially in a virtual capacity, has been compelling. Especially as I upload into the repositories. I had one bit of feedback that came in one of the apps I created. I think it was the alien computer terminal that I made. Someone asked if it could do something else, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to like dive that deep into it. Like, but maybe I can stick Jules on it. Like, go for it. Fix it. And that was early on. Not as recent as last few weeks or whatnot. So, yeah, no, I really, like I said, I really appreciate not just the support, the time, but tools like this do make it possible for makers like me and the others, certainly who are here and watching and making, makes it easier. And that to me is the role of technology, something that is a leveler, if you will. The fact that, I'm, again, maybe I'm not as, knee deep as you are in code, but I can watch, I can follow the bouncy ball. I'm like, okay, I know what that does. Okay, I can see what that does. All right. Well, here's my question. As the customer, as the product manager, right? Did it do what it needed to do? Yes or no? And that's ultimately what I care about.
Yeah.
Finding that path forward and getting those shortcuts, that's a win.
Totally.
And any part of the iteration process, now that we have the ability to code more rapidly on our ideas, we have the ability to put out so many more ideas out into reality.
I feel like that's
play
like,
off of those.
That's been like the coolest thing for me is like I'm a product manager and like I know code, but like I don't have a ton of time during the day to actually code. And before I'd have an idea and like I would just create a notes app on my phone and like I would just like add to it and like I would never get to the idea. And like now, like it's been fun to just put stuff out there, it's been fun to like, it feels like I have permission to like have fun and build things. And that's been really empowering for me.
Well, again, as a non-developer, it's incredible. Like it's been a game changer. Now I use Gemini primarily, but Pixel here, who's to this side of me right now, is been diving deeper into Studio as Studio has released updates.
I feel like this is the worst it'll ever be in terms of like building things, which is like so fun. And so like the Studio team, like Logan and Kat and Amar and those folks on AI Studio, like they have a really meaty and aggressive roadmap, and I'm super excited for their stuff. There's an currently unannounced feature that's related to stuff like this that will come out soon, and like there's just a lot happening, and so I think there's like a lot of cool stuff.
I'm watching like with bated breath.
Definitely follow all the Google handles, but if you have Jules feedback, I'm like chronically online, so you can always message me on Twitter. We're on Discord, and so please do give us feedback.
I follow. There's one person on the. I don't know her name offhand.
Kath.
Is it like she's constantly posting on X? Like she dressed as a witch?
Yes, that's my manager. That's Kathy. She is the director of product for Google Labs.
Tell her. I mean, I watch her. Like, I'm like, there are very few people that pop out, but she pop. The fact that I knew, I'm like, dude, I know. Okay, I know it's her.
Yeah.
She's a witch. I'm not. BSing here. Like, I like she's posting some interesting stuff. Yeah. And I appreciate that level of engagement specifically with the community. So props to your manager, props to you and your team for all the support, certainly. And, I'm, like I said, this kind of stuff, it's exciting for me because I grew up, let's see if I can find it. I grew up, I am 52 years old. So I'm a little old, if you will. I don't know if you can see the Commodore 64 emulator here.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it works too. I've got I got like commands and built in. I made custom commands. So I grew up on the command line, but I never really evolved past. Can you see a flicker? That flicker is legit in the HTML file. It's flickering and
that's awesome.
The lines and everything. So like the CRT. but I never really moved past basic programming, and took more of the creative approach in my career. Connecting with people, growing community, engaging people, etc. So, I AI came around. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I can do an image, and I can do this, and I can do some research. And I was starting to do this. Was back in February. I was like, let me do some live streams. Let's see what apps it can make. Okay, let me pit Manus against ChatGPT against Claude, and I honestly, I'll tell you, I didn't pay much attention to Gemini. I'm like, yeah, Gemini was okay. And then someone in chat at the time said, have you tried the new 2.5 Pro? Like Gemini, when they just rolled it out, just like that day. Yeah. Like, yeah, I heard about it, but I don't know. And then I try it. I'm like, whoa, holy cow, dude. Okay. And then from that point forward, I'm like, oh man, this is a game changer. And I'm saying that as someone I'm not a developer, but I'm developing software. Like that, it blows me away what we're able to do with tools like Jules, who I wouldn't know how to do what Jules does, but I feel I'm a pretty decent community manager, product manager, customer to say, nah, that's not exactly it. It's got to be more like this.
Totally.
So it's enabled, I feel, a new, if I can use the word, a swath of people who traditionally have been more creative than they have been more logical or programmatic. Someone that you might consider like more developer centric. And that's really, it's been it's exciting. It's genuinely exciting.
I feel like I can have this conversation for such a long time because I am just as stoked about this. Like I referred to this tweet from Cristobal, which I guess maybe you didn't send, but maybe I'll share my screen super quickly.
Sure.
And I promise this will be like the last thing I'll say. And I'll let you all do your thing.
Oh, good.
But the thing that I'm super excited about with like creatives getting into this space is like this tweet I think sums it up. This is the CEO of Runway, the AI video tool, but he talks about like art is a translation problem. Like the role of the artist is like observe the world and communicate it. And to do that in a technical setting, you need two things. You need an interesting point of view, like something that's like deeply meaningful to the collective existence, and the technical ability to shape that, right? And like you need both of those things. And I think we are like making so much progress here enough that this becomes really important. Like you need that like compelling thing. Like what? And I kind of think of like building kind of like YouTube, right? Like I think like when YouTube came out, like anyone could create a video or a film, and like I think now that everyone has the access to upload anything, like the quality and like the unique thing and the point of view that you have is like what becomes really important. And so I think like a long way of saying of like I feel like creatives are in such a good place right now because like it's getting easier to build, and like you have a unique perspective of the world and like human existence, and like I think like you can now express that in different ways that you haven't been able to before.
So again, I'm old. I am decrepit as far in the software. If I'm not under 30, like I might as well just move into the old folks home. So for years, battle is the wrong word. I would talk with developers as more of a customer advocate, user advocate. I would try to convince them, I need this feature. Your software is great, but it's not this, or it's off by 5 pixels here, or whatever it happened to be. That I wouldn't say it would always land flat, but it was somewhat frustrating to know the product that I needed at the time, or the product that I wanted to get to this point where I'm literally, I called it an arcade. This page of 100 plus vibe coded apps. It just I'm like, I've got an idea. I kind of wonder, can I do that? How's that going to turn out? How's this, how can I do this game thing? How could I take this shader and make it configure? Whatever it happened to be, the fact that I can abstract the idea from the skill set required to deliver that idea, I think is the power what these tools provide. I mean, to your point, whether we're talking, what Google has with Jules, or beyond the whole industry, which is wonderful because it just competition makes everybody healthy, right? Like you want competition,
Totally.
And I'm a big believer in that, across the board when it comes to software, certainly, and hardware. But I'm living what you just said. I'm living that quote because as I feel like more of a creative, more of a connector, to be able to not have to, or to be able, I'll say this, to upskill myself without being daunted by that particular task of upskilling, because I'm not a developer. I stopped at basic programming, so I know enough to be. I've got a GitHub repositories. I should say, a GitHub account, and I'm learning as I go. Hell, I even vibe coded a GitHub batch uploader that uses like a token. Of course, it's all legit, and it changed things in my and made it. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, this is incredible.
Totally.
This is absolutely incredible.
And I will say, let me add on to that. I think there was a few times that me and Chris here, we were coding something and we added something to it that did not give us the intended effect, but it was better than what we were trying to do in the first place.
Yeah.
Totally.
Happens a lot.
Yeah.
It's definitely more creative. I think it has the potential of being more creative, and I think one of the things to keep in mind, because I'm sure there's people in the audience that are like, I have no desire to publish anything for people that they might consume, but it's also a huge productivity tool.
Just
back
an
in the day,
example.
if you wanted to create a quick tool for something that you use personally, you'd have to be a developer to do it. You'd have to go to Fiverr. You'd have to figure out how to do that. And now you can. I have a ton of different little Python scripts that just do a ton of different things. If I have to do it more, my motto has always been, if I have to do it more than twice, I'm going to automate it. Now it's if I have to do it more than once, I know I'm just going to jump in, create a script for it, and it's going to give me the desired results.
You have something?
So that's really what got me started into the AI programming was, creating data load scripts and creating different things for just my day-to-day, making my day-to-day life a lot easier.
Totally.
Whereas before I'd spend maybe a day. I'd spend, if it was a task I did, like I said, more than a couple of times, I would sit down and create a PowerShell script for it or something like that. Now it's like just jump in, tell AI what I want it to do, and have something quality usually in the first shot. So it's kind of crazy.
I feel like a lot of the things that I've built to your exact scenarios, like things that I find useful that I don't really intend to share with the world, but like. Right. I need it, and I don't want to necessarily. I don't care to make money or like deal with like people using it, but like it solves a very specific pain point that I only have, like me, N of one in the world, and I feel like that's stuff like no one's gonna build that for me, and now I can build it for me. So like stuff like that has been super great.
Go keep going because I think you had an example. I think.
No. I mean, I like one example I'll share is like Twitter bookmarking. Like I hate how Twitter handles bookmarks on the web UI, and like. I like built a very simple like Mac client app to help me like handle bookmarks, but like stuff like that I think has been super fun.
See, I've been having, it's been interesting. I'll see a piece of hardware. Like, do you remember these things like flapper boards or whatever the heck they are?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. So this is an app. It's on my arcade. You can type anything in it, or like you can just let it go with tech headlines, and then it's an RSS feed reader. Can you hear the? Can you hear the clicking?
That's awesome.
As it's flipping, that's all Gemini. I mean, I see this thing. I'm like, this is a $2,000 machine. I'm like, am I gonna get that 2,000? I mean, it's neat to have on the wall, but I'm like, I think I can make that. This is one example of like a piece of hardware that I've seen that I'm like, boy, that'd be really neat to have, but like, how would I use it? Like, where would it fit? Like, how would it work? And so the fact that, I've seen the hardware and can now quote unquote emulate that in software and then, give it, that much more power has just been, again, it's a game changer for a creative like me. I even did this is all HTML. This is an iPhone emulator.
That's awesome.
Right? And it does, and they're apps. Every one of these apps work with the home button going back. They're all micro apps from like the iPhone that I remember and that I loved, like one of the first
That's
iPhones,
fantastic.
right? It's just, and they're all, well, everything on my arcade should be on GitHub, minus maybe the last couple that I had uploaded. I did one other hardware. You may have seen this clock before. It's like, it'll have the words on there. I'm like, this is like $500, $600. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, if I want that thing, there's a piece of art as a statement. It's great. And I'm like, I think I can do that. And then I did it. Like, it's just like, it's incredible. And then I can make it my own. Like, but make it every time I hit refresh, you know, change the color scheme. You know, every time I do this, do that. You know, and that's just, you know, to see tools like Jules, to be able to kind of have, you know, not even in my back pocket, really akimbo, or to the next to me as a creative, to say, all right, I'm the creative, you're the developer, go. No, that's not what I need. That's not quite it. No, but this is what I need. No, not quite like that. Here's an example. You know, it's powerful. It's a game changer. And that's why I get so excited about this abstracted, this technology, this effort. Like, I don't get excited over every technology that comes down the pike. I don't. Wasn't into crypto, still not. Never had an NFT. You know, don't do the blockchain thing. Like, I don't jump aboard. But when it's something like this, just like 3D printing is getting, like, it's accessible, it's usable, you know, and it's in my hands. And as much as, you know, being able to 3D print like this pot for my girlfriend who wants to have like succulents, I'm like, but I don't want a boring pot. I want Star Wars stuff. So we found the crossroads, right? It's the same way. Like, okay, I need it to be this. And we're entering this new era of making, whether it's software or something physical, where the person, the customer, the user, the whatever hat you want to wear, has the ability to say, hey, this is what I want. This is what I need. And, you know, I think, and I don't know anything, I obviously do not work where you work. I worked for Intel a few years ago, not at Google, but seeing what Nothing is doing with their smartphones, I don't know if you've seen this, but you can vibe code widgets. And I'm like, that's the future, man. Like,
I didn't see
it's crazy.
I got to run, but it was super great hanging out with y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm super online. So if you run into any issues with like how Jules works, or like Jules, the agent, does some weird stuff, and you're like, that feels wrong, please like DM me like with a link to the URL, like what I can do with the URL. I can look at our logs and be like, what happened here? So like, I'm very accessible. Please take me up on it. And super grateful for the time. Hope you all find a lot of value with Jules.
Absolutely. Thanks again for the time, especially on a Saturday. Appreciate the
thank you.
support. Thank you. Thank your team. Thank you.
Totally. All right. Good meeting y'all. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.
For everybody who's watching, tuned in, I know a lot of people are on Discord doing their or posting links. But the first link I shared was the wrong one. It was the private one, and then I posted the public one. But if you want, keep scrolling in there. If you want to qualify for the 3D printer giveaway, what I'm going to be asking, keep those links on hand. Don't get me wrong. After all is said and done, I've got a survey because I want to get information. I want to get knowledge, like what worked, what didn't work, what could have been better, what could we do differently, and then you'll be able to submit your link that you made, you know, through the survey, so that I've got it, you know, on record. But of course, having it, the beautiful thing about using Discord for the chat is that it's all logged. It's all there. Everything that we've talked about, every bit of interaction is in there. Now I was going to ask Matt, you've got a screen share going on, but it's a regular screen share. Can you do it through OBS? But hang on, you're muted. You muted yourself probably wisely.
See if I have OBS on here.
Famous last words. Making something difficult with Jules. It's stumbling, but it's asking me for help, which is interesting. Interesting, Matheson. Matheson's been helping somewhat with or to a certain degree, for the LockerGnome.net platform, which I haven't given up on. I still want to get LockerGnome.net going. I would love to see it happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'd love to see it happen. Andrew says, also easy to use as a first timer using a 3D printer. For sure, dude. If you got a question as to what, Andrew, if you're still there, my recommendation is a bamboo printer. And that's just my personal recommendation. That's the one we're giving away, by the way. Just so you know, you can get one for free, potentially, if you're a participant. One random participant tonight is going to get the 3D printer, and it'll be basically sent to them from Bamboo's website. But there's the link if you are still there.
Yeah, speaking of 3D printing, I always had the idea, and I'm sure many other people have too, but 3D printing things that blend technology into having a space that doesn't look like it has technology, if that makes sense. So like hiding wires, that type of thing, but 3D printing something that looks more natural, like a plant or something. You could go and put your wires through the plant, and you'll never see the wires itself.
I don't know. I'm sure, trust me, this would be the group, or at least part of the group. Andrew, glad you got it. I think it looks like the Maka is asking for a little bit of clarification there. And I'm glad to see that we do have people that are vibe coding and submitting.
So mainly what I was saying is let's say I had a bunch of just computer wires all over the place. Okay, well in an attempt to hide them, you could use clips or something. But let's say you didn't want the wires to show at all, and you wanted to blend them into your environment without sacrificing without making it seem like you have technology around you in a more relaxing atmosphere. Like let's say you had a Wi-Fi router, but you disguised it as just something you'd have in your house just normally. You know, just 3D print something that you could hide it in.
John, thank you. Glad you think the session's great. I saw your comment earlier, John, as well. I kind of want to be best friends with Jules Law. I did see that. I wanted to get that off to AK, just so he has it for his for future reference. And hopefully we can continue to get Google Jules support as well as Every's support in being able to do this, not just virtually, but in person as well. I'm bullish on that. I would love to be able to do these vibe coding events on tour. It'd be wonderful to do a tour. I live in Seattle. It's not super easy to get to other cities, certainly beyond the region. But, it just kind of starts somewhere and goes from there. Yeah, Matt, you caught my note about the OBS. Do you have it?
I'm trying to get it up and running right now.
Okay. And the reason why is because with StreamYard, when you share a screen, it like goes. You can't make the screen share small.
Hey Chris, if you have your screen share up right now, I'm going to send this link to you, so that you can bring this up. This is kind of what I was meaning, but this is something that they're doing in Texas, where they're hiding their Wi-Fi signal.
Okay.
Their 5G equipment into cactuses.
Legal terms. Hang on just a second. Come on, stop.
They've been doing that for a while, though.
They have been,
I was going to say, out in, like, Arizona and stuff, you'll see these huge, like, fake-looking cactuses, and they're the communication towers. It's crazy.
Oh, here's my cable management. Matt has seen this in person, but my cable management is just push everything behind the desk where you can't see it, which is going to be a problem because I've got a gap, but I'm bringing in an electrician to see about running fiber optic, like an SFP cable from the basement terminal where like everything comes in, all the wiring comes in to my office, like 2 floors up. So like, I'm hopeful that they'll be able to do it because I've got, Cat 5e in the, throughout the house, but the only wired connection that I have is here in the office. And I I've been upgrading to 10 gig, so I've been going fiber. I've now got an SFP connection from my router to a switch. That switch goes from to Cat 6 up to where I am now, or sorry, Cat 6A to where I am now. But I want to push it as far as I possibly can. So I just figured, all right, maybe I need to upgrade and get that cable run. I've got an estimate according to Google Gemini. Maybe it'll cost this much to basically run that cable so that I can go SFP out of the wall, or SFP plus out of the wall into the switch that I have here in my only wired connection that I've had in the house for the past 10 years. Everything else is wireless. That's my idea of cable management. Like, just shove it away. Right. I agree. I'm just like, get it out. I don't want to see it.
If it's sure, but yeah, I didn't mean exactly just cables, but just, you know, like let's say you just wanted like a relaxing space to just be in, but you wanted the technology to be around you anyway.
That's a big thing.
You know, that type of thing. Like for instance, if you had a mirror in your bathroom, but then you had one of those electronic mirrors that have the
those things are so cool.
Yeah, you know what
I mean, they're neat. They have the heads up display thing that tell you, like, hey, you're looking ugly today. Oh, great. That's what I needed. Good ego boost.
The AI powered one.
So on my gratitude list, what I did with my thanks, I iterated, and I guess this is kind of actually I need to add local storage support so the list exists between sessions. That way it can be an ongoing gratitude list. So who to thank, reason, how, and then, getting dates so that, it doesn't have to be like a thank you card, but like, oh, I said thank you to such and such. I said thank you to so-and-so. Small steps. Because, Thanksgiving's the next big holiday.
Right.
I can't believe I got my daughter, girlfriend had seen it, but Nightmare Before Christmas. A Halloween tradition for me over the past few years has been, all right, Halloween's over. Now we're going to get, tomorrow officially, I can start listening to Christmas music. Like, it's a thing. I know Thanksgiving's coming down the pike, but I need something to bridge the gap. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm thankful, right, that I've got these opportunities. And speaking of thankful, oh, you got that, Lindy. How's Eli?
They're good. They're coding.
Are they doing it?
Yeah, they're doing it.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, check this out. Check this out. Yeah.
My 13-year-old and my husband. Other side of the office.
This is so cool. So, Lindy, who's Every, and Every we've still got, up here in the background, every.io is the website where you can go to. You got a great idea. You got a great business. You need to get that business registered. Every will incorporate your C Corp for free. For the time being, It's a limited time offer. So take advantage of it if and when you can. Lindy has been a friend, a colleague, for a number of years. Eli jumped into the Discord server. You may have seen him in the introductions. And Lindy was at the in-person event, not just because, of Every support, but before it even began, she vibe coded. She was, I don't know how far along you got.
I got pretty far.
It's crazy. So wait, what? Okay, now you have to explain exactly what it is. You started vibe coding.
Yes. What, like 10 minutes into the event?
Into the thing. You started going. I turned to you and like, what do you? I just vibe coded this thing.
Okay, I'll put it in Discord.
Yeah, it's legit. Like, what the thing that she did is absolutely 110% legit. Like, it's for real, not just like, oh, this crazy thing. Because she has animals everywhere. There's an inch in her home that is not occupied, their home, their family's home, that is not occupied by an animal. And tell me I'm wrong.
No, true. Yeah, 4 acres, 5 horses, 3 dogs, a cat. Yeah, and then this little space that I'm in right now, a little 200 square foot spot in our backyard. because both my husband and I work remote, and there's typically 3 giant dogs on the floor.
That's incredible.
Just
It's
one right now,
incredible.
just the old lady.
That's incredible. So I'm glad you got. It's wonderful that this is what the family is doing on a Saturday evening.
Yes, absolutely. We had you guys in the big TV, and the little kids, the 5 and 7-year-old, were like, "How do we do this?"
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's the thing, though, is that it's going to
Yes,
push the younger generation into this kind of thing,
absolutely.
and making it so simple that anybody can do it, and then their interest will be piqued.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're raising little entrepreneurs.
Never been a better time.
Absolutely.
But that's what I mean. Not to segue, but that's basically what Every is doing, right? You're basically bolstering entrepreneurs.
Yeah, we're incorporating between 80 and 100 a month right now, all around the country. Bootstrappers, indie hackers, people in incubator programs, folks in college programs, folks that like still working at big companies and want to build something on the side. Yeah. It's pretty awesome to talk to founders pretty much every week. I was in Austin last week at Antler and Capital Factory, talked to hundreds of founders, all different stages of life.
See, I never envisioned myself. I joked, and whether I said this to you or not in an earlier conversation, it's something I fall back on. Like in the heyday, and this must have been like in the 2000s, in 2005, 6, or whatever, everyone was talking about startups. And like I knew nothing about that word until I got out of Iowa, and even to a certain degree, even out of San Francisco. Like I knew of it. And I said, I wasn't a startup, I was a still up. I mean, I survived. Like, I don't know how I survived, but it worked. So I never envisioned myself as this founder type of caricature. But, it ultimately didn't matter. The label didn't matter. If I had an idea and there was a business to wrap around it, as someone who is more creative, is more of a connector, I struggle at a lot of the operational side of the business. It's not my bailiwick. It's not my wheelhouse. And that's something that every kind of
absolutely
you cover to a large degree.
Yeah, nobody wants to be an expert in taxes or bookkeeping, or
unless you're a bookkeeper, but
sure, or then the compliance and R&D stuff. Like there's I think it's funny. There's this whole world where entrepreneurs can actually like thrive. They just don't know because all the operational stuff is so hard.
And that's
right.
It keeps me, or it has, I will say, kept me from moving from point A to point B because it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
The things that I don't know.
Yeah. I'm learning every day. Been in this for a long time.
So wait, what's your what's everyone working on over? Can they say what they're working on?
Oh, what are you guys working on? Tell us what you're working on.
I was working on.
You want to come here? Here, I can just take my headphones off. All right, tell me. Here, Claire. All right, Claire, tell us. What are you working on?
Yay! Long time no see.
I was.
Here, I'm going to get taller
Good
for
to see
you.
you.
Go ahead. What are you working on?
Oh, before I was working on turning the Legend of Zelda video game into where the main character is a cat, and I was working on that at first, but then I switched it to a platformer version, which I'm still working on. The second version, I fell into the abyss and was not dead, so I got to work on that.
You've started. That's the hardest part. I'll say, as an entrepreneur, starting is the hardest part. It really is.
Yes, I know that.
But you're doing it.
It's very hard.
I'm glad you're trying.
The cool thing is, I as an aside, I was a huge fan of the original Legend of Zelda, like way back when the Nintendo Entertainment System launched. Nintendo, before they launched their magazine called Nintendo Power, which was a thing back when print was a thing. Back in my day when we had print magazines, back in the 19th century, was it? No, was it the 19th century? Are we in the 20th or 21st? 20. Okay, 20. In the 20th century, like a century ago, Nintendo had a contest. They said, okay, submit your idea for a video game. And my idea for a video game was like, what if we took the characters from Legend of Zelda with, you know, the characters from Super Mario, from, you know, all these characters all across the board, and we brought them together in this match. And what I did was I made a Commodore 64 program on a computer called the Commodore 64, in case you're not aware. And I programmed it. I made it and I sent it in on floppy diskettes. I said,
No way.
I did.
You mailed it.
I mailed in floppy diskettes. Didn't warn. You didn't say, "Hey, there's magnetic media inside. Don't, you know, X-ray or anything." But they got it. They received it. I didn't win the contest, but I did get. They said I think they were just kind of blown away that someone did it. I did get a year's subscription or 2 years for free, just for doing that, just for submitting that, and I got a 2-year or 1-year subscription to the magazine. So that's a true story.
And then 30 years later, they made Super Smash Brothers, right?
I know. I'm like, dude,
How many years were they in operation?
I gave them everything. I gave them everything. I'm like, this is what you do. This is how you do it. I programmed it. It was crazy. Yeah. So you never know. You never
copyright.
know.
What about copyright?
See, that's the thing. I didn't have to worry about copyright because I was telling them what to do with their copyright. And like, here, do it this way. I wasn't trying to create the video game. I was just asking them to create this massive world, or this chance for all these characters to mash up together. Samus for Metroid, Kid Icarus, you know, Pit was his name. I don't know if you remember Kid Icarus, but I loved that game. Anyway, so you never know where it's going to take you. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. And you've got the perfect parents for it too.
Yes.
My parents told me, get off that thing. It's never going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at me now.
Yeah.
I see it. Send the link over. Let us check it out.
Yeah, we definitely want to. Yeah. I definitely am interested. 110% interested.
Dad can grab it for you and he can share it on Discord.
Yeah. I think I could share my thing with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think I told your dad I use Gemini for my vibe coding because it's familiar to me. It's very simple, straightforward. I've created platformers. Hey, Pixels, what was the name of that side scroller? Because Pixels also it's his name here, or his handle. I did a side scroller type of game where you could actually edit the side scroll. Here it is, right? Side scroller.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is you can go into edit mode and you can export, import, save. You can edit the sprites.
Whoa.
So this is also available as a on GitHub. Which you can basically is a place to place your code so other people can see it. So you could basically take this and iterate and go from here and make it even better. I made power-ups because I kept failing, so I tried to make it a fun little like that because I kept failing. So I needed to make it such that I didn't keep failing the way, and then I reset. So either way, keep going. Start somewhere, keep going, keep playing, keep trying. There's never been a better time. If I had these tools at your age, I mean, I don't leave the house a lot now. I mean, it would be incredible.
So one of the things that I really had a lot of hard times with vibe coding for right now is when I wanted to change a speed or change just how something's flowing, it was very difficult to put that into words and get it to do exactly what you wanted to do. So what I ended up doing is I asked it to give me a slider that I could mess with. And that has opened up a large portion of how I code things, because it'll give me a number to choose from on that slider to whether I can slow it down or speed it up. And then if I wanted to hard code that in and forget the slider, I could tell it to do this exact number.
So for
this is exactly what I wanted.
You know, if I'm working on a shader here, like this animation that I have.
Well, that's cool.
I've got a ton of these, and I say, I'm telling it what to do, but it's not. So I'm trying to explain exactly what Pixels was saying. I say, what if I don't know what kind of glow I want, right? I mean, I can give it a slider for the user to adjust. And so that gives me a more accurate, I guess a variable, or these variables that I can adjust in the sliders to be able to get to what it is that I want. So, having in trying to get to what you want, maybe you don't know that perfect speed for the character, or maybe the jump's wrong. You could say, hey, give me a slider to adjust this, such that you may not have that slider in the final product, but to be able to better judge what you need that number to be, you can adjust it to get it exactly the way you want it to be, and say, all right, set that number to X, and then take that configuration out, and then you're good to go. So that's a better, a good way of framing.
Right, I've done especially if you're like, just make this thing go faster is, it's too ambiguous,
Yeah.
I was trying to adjust the speed on my thing because all the characters were going around crazy, going through walls too, which is very odd.
It can be challenging.
I asked it to go down, and it was like, I can't make you a video. No, I didn't want a video.
And putting the right phrasing in too, so like collision would be one.
Collision.
Oh yeah. We'll get her to share the link with everybody.
Oh, for sure. And the beautiful thing is, I mean, whatever link you share, I mean, I think with Gemini, it's whatever the current version is. So if you continue to develop beyond, that becomes the share link of the different share link. And
we were just talking about Jules too, so keep that in mind.
So you could take something, your parents can show you how to upload it to a repository, and then stick the agent Jules on it and say, hey,
very cool.
Do this, fix this, do that, add this feature, and then it can do it for you. You can do your homework, come back to it, and okay, this is what I wanted, or this is not what I wanted. And then he even revealed that AK from the Google Jules team revealed that they're going to have video support to be able to show you in video.
Very cool.
Oh no, even he was even saying Google Jules, instead of the way it happened, the way it works now, will work as a standalone, meaning you don't have to have a repository before you put Jules on a task. So they've got some good stuff coming down the pipe. Yeah, I'm a big believer in sliders, to underscore what Pixels was saying, at least as far as these simple apps go. I'm like, well, you know what? This is the way it's working for me, and this is neat, but I wonder what else could be done with it. And so the idea
it's like when we were making your Star Wars thing, we were having such a hard time dialing in
dialing it all in. Yeah, it was crazy. But to be able to add sliders to it made it a lot simpler to use. A lot simpler. Sliders, and I usually keep them in. I'm like, it depends on what it is that I'm wanting to create, but I even this didn't need sliders, but I uploaded these, shared them, but they're not in the arcade link. But like Halloween Attack, like a Space Invader clone, with shoot all the candy corn down and the popcorn, or the pumpkin, and the pump. I did power ups so I can get 1-ups, and ghosts and bats and spiders. And
is that hosted on your arcade site?
So it's there, but I mean the URL is definitely there, but I haven't put the thumbnail up in it. I haven't. Okay. I ran out of time. I'm like, I got to get this all done. Halloween last night, taking Jedi around a neighborhood, with her friends, and she had this, I don't know how much mass. She counted it today. I swear, 150 pieces of candy.
Wow.
I'm like, I would have grown up in Iowa if I had 50. I'm gonna bam. 150. I'm like, dude, you're gonna last till next Halloween.
My father, he would always buy 20 bags of candy, and we'd have 2 trick-or-treaters.
So, Lindy, here's. Give me a second. I'll get it. I'll get it onto the website because I think I've got everything that I need for it. I do on the arcade. This is a shortcut that means nothing to anybody else, but it means something to me when I need to actually get something out of the arcade, because it's very manual right now. Everything I'm doing is manual. I would like to work towards the goal of making it easier for me and everybody else if they create, let's say, a single HTML file.
Yes.
A place to host it. They vibe coded something, but where do they put it? And it's not this extensive, TypeScript massive application. It's just a very simple thing. Where do they put it? I'd like to move that direction. But until then, I have to kind of like, how can I do this? So what I did was I created if you're familiar, do you know the Konami code? Do you remember the Konami code?
I'm not familiar.
Up, down, left, right, BA start would get you 30 extra lives in video games from
It's an
Konami.
arcade thing.
Okay.
So
I was a pinball skee-ball person.
Okay,
so.
well, hey, there you go. So on the arcade page, if I go up, down, anybody can do this, but it means nothing to them. I can create with like a cabinet, like this app. So I can go in and then with that shortcut create the title. It automatically fills in the image URL, the link URL, and then the description for this particular video game, which I do believe I've got like ready to go. And then I basically copy and paste in like the description. And say like retro style, 8-bit, blah, 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 blah. There we go. Just very, very simple. Retro, give it a tag, and then the JavaScript, and then I copy and paste it. So it's a quick way for me to basically update that arcade page where
That's great.
You can go in here. If you give me a second, then you'd be able to go in and play that video game. Because otherwise, if I had to like do all that manually, as Tech Jeeper was referring to, like if I have to do it more than once, I want to automate it. So theoretically, if I hit refresh and type in hello, did I type it in right? Hard refresh. Sometimes you have to hit. Oops. Did it work? Hello, right there. So you can search for a hollow attack, and it should be there. It was already in line. But it took me that long to update the website in my way of doing it, right? Very kind of like, okay, I got to do it. I got to figure out how to make it work. But it's all been vibe coded. It's all just like very simple, straightforward. So now if you search for attack on the page or hallow, HALLO or HALL, then you can, the link to the game is right there. Or heck, I can make it even easier and put it in the Discord server. There we go. Thank you, Lindy.
Jinx.
Yeah, no doubt. Like you posted in there. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. But that was it was someone. I'd seen someone from the Google Jules team doing a Space Invaders clone, and then Pixels here. He was doing Space Invaders in Google AI Studio. I'm like, I wonder kind of, I need a way to kind of tease this event, like. How can I talk about it without saying, come to the event? Like, okay, well, I got to make it relevant. Okay, well, I hate candy corn. All right, so let's make a candy corn. Let's shoot candy corn. And then that evolved into the candy corn whack-a-mole game.
Yes.
Squish candy. I hate candy corn. I'm not a fan. You squish, bam, all candy corn has to go. It's got to leave. I don't want it. I
did beat you in the rap battle, though.
I know, let me tell you. But that's the thing is, like, you just get a little creative spark, and then you take it here, and then you take it there, and then you take it there, and then before you know it, you're producing an event. And before you know it, you're finding amazing supporters and sponsors and before you know it, you've got kids developing their own video games.
Yes.
And then before you know it,
imagine we had this on the old internet.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we wouldn't. Yeah.
Exactly.
It would be a little slow.
Dude,
Chris and I were fortunate because we had a windstorm today, so I was crossing my fingers.
At the beginning
of
the stream.
The cable
beginning of the stream, I'm thinking no flickers, but I'm like, please, of all days, not to go down the day that I want to do this live event with guests and all this stuff that's happening. So, thankfully, knock on particle board.
Yes, we can find something. We'll just start knocking.
It's all particle board at this point in time. It's all pressed wood. I got tons of knock-on 3D prints. Oh, and speaking of, Gretchen has now convinced me to. She's been inspired by your plants everywhere, and so I've been printing little succulent Death Stars.
Happy to share the plants.
She didn't like the helmets She said it was a little weird. She didn't like plants growing out of someone's head. I'm like, really?
Oh, I agree with that.
But I was
hair.
fine. It's a helmet. So I've been like doing Death Stars for her to succulent. I guess.
Yeah, that's true. We could go more of like a chia vibe. Like maybe there's something somebody could code a chia pet.
Oh my god!
Why have we not done that?
I could do
I
that.
do it now? What if I do it now?
Do it. No. Yeah, you could. Like I'm looking. No. So I did this thing.
Here it is.
I'm serious. Seriously.
Chia pet.
Here's so you could do like a chia pet or describe it. But STL files. So in the world of 3D printing, there are STL files. There are multiple files, but that's basically the file that allows me to print something. And so I vibe coded something called the Stellarium or Luminarium. And what it does is it loads a STL file, so you can take these 3D objects. So like the one that I've got spinning around on my screen, but you could say you don't necessarily need to have the object, and you can start with a sphere or a cube or a pyramid or whatever. But you could effectively say, take an STL file or start with a default object and make it like a chia pet where it sprouts over time, and the seeds start this way, and maybe you have to smear things. You have to smear it first, and then little random little sproutlets come out of it. Yeah, it can be done. I think
I'm typing as fast as I can.
I'm telling you, like you're gonna try, but that's like now. Okay, now I'm thinking like, yeah, you can take your take on it. I'm like, yeah, I think this is another way. I think it. So that's the idea. Is like you can just take something and make something from nothing, and then you got something. And then you never. That's the thing. As an entrepreneur, I believe in just following not just the idea, but following where that idea leads, right? And being inspired and seeing what resonates with others, and then taking that energy and then letting that blossom, etc. And I've done this long enough to know, there are trends, certainly, and technology has evolved, absolutely. But when it comes to what we're talking about here, this is, to me, this little app, this is not a business. This isn't a thing. But if I talk about, hey, I've got these 100 apps and they're hosted somewhere, and it's kind of a pain for me to do. Yeah, I can make it a little easier for me, but then I kind of wonder, I think, are there other people out there in a similar situation that have created something simple that need a place to host it? They don't necessarily know where to go, how to host it, whatever.
Yeah.
They're looking for community support. So something so small, just a simple personal thing, can quickly blossom into the it's everything. It's everything. That's how Locker Gnome started back in the day with a newsletter. I'm like, I was looking for cool stuff. I found the cool stuff, and then I shared the cool stuff that I found, and then other people were like, oh my god, this is really cool.
You might have to do another newsletter, Chris, and highlight everybody's little creations.
So that's the hope. We had surveys from the real world, the IRL event, which I hope to have information on the next one we're going to do at some point in the near future. I'm going to be talking with another entrepreneur who's in Bellevue. We missed connection on this past week was AI week in Seattle. He had a couple things going on, but we're going to be talking to each other on Monday, because I said, hey, I'd like to do these events on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And AWS was fantastic. Absolutely
fantastic.
Great.
Cool space.
I would repeat it in a heartbeat. Yeah. But I'm also interested in where's this going to go? What kind of thread can we pull here? So always interested in making those connections. Always. I do it whether I realize I'm doing it or not. It's just how it goes and goes. Let's see here.
It is so satisfying to see the code generate and all the CSS is just done.
Just done.
Do you remember how painful that was to look up everything? You're like,
no, and
come on.
The stuff that it can do as far as the computational CSS that you could never do as a you'd have to have a mathematical degree and ridiculous algorithms in order to do some of the stuff that it can do with CSS. It's mind blowing.
I did image to CSS generator here somewhere. I've done I'd say too many of these apps. Like I've done so many of these dang things. But there's an image to CSS generator in here somewhere. If I just
Really?
Yeah, just because I was like, I've seen here. There it is. So you can upload an image.
Okay.
From
where's
like,
Rocket?
Oh, I don't know if I don't know if I have one like offhand. There's
Call him.
Come here, pup. She's downstairs. But this is that's not a graphic. What you're seeing there, I mean, it's a graphic, yes, but that's CSS code. So you can copy that CSS code out as it's an image, right? And you can make it as sharp as you want or as loose as you want, 1-to-1 ratio. But yeah, so I was just like, I remember seeing someone doing this manually. I'm like, this could be happening programmatically. So yeah, I can turn any image into where you could do it too. But that's the idea. Even if you've got this random use case, like I need the CSS bug fixed. This is a problem. The layout's doing this, and I don't need to do that. Boom, done, fixed.
It's so interesting to me that let's say you were an artist and you just like drawing on paper. You could literally take a picture of that and then animate it in a few seconds.
And then
Love
what?
that idea.
You missed this, Lindy, but or may have missed it. AK was demonstrating that there's a Google tool called Sketch, and now it integrates with Jules, such that you can have a wireframe. You can build a wireframe. So even if you've had an idea, like as in marketing, right? You're like, I have a concept for something, and I want it to be this, and I need it to be that. You could have it basically bake it, right? But then actually take it and hand it off as a prototype to hand to your developers and say, "This,
love that.
This is the." So it's very team friendly in that sense. I don't think it's.
Oh my gosh, I never even thought about that. Just like communicating with technical teams.
It's
the lingua franca teams.
It's the lingua franca. Like you can't. No, it's got to be this way. You can actually make the thing and then say, "This is the thing I'm trying to make right here," and it isn't working the way I want it to, but it's looking closer to the way I want it to be. So even as a communication tool to be able to help, entrepreneurs who may not be technical entrepreneurs like myself, it's a great balancer, right? Because I may not be able to, communicate to a technical team or even a technical co-founder, but I can say, hey, here's what I can say, look, this is a prototype. This thing, this website thing that I did, this is it's a prototype. It's not perfect, but I want to make it such that it does, so that you don't have things don't get lost in translation, right?
Yep.
So that I feel is where a lot of these AI tools are. I mean, they're amazing because you don't have to figure out how to communicate with someone who may communicate differently. You can say, here, show and tell.
Yes.
Like, this is it.
It's always easier. It's always easier to talk about a model or an MVP or a proof of concept over just like a document or verbal.
Big time.
Right? Because we all have our biases and we all have our sense of like what's possible or not in what period of time. But giving some sort of prototype is like that levels the playing field.
It's everything, because you have as if you will, like wearing a marketing hat. You want it to be this, but you can't exactly get it to do the thing but that's where a lot of these tools can kind of come in and effectively bridge that gap, such that it's not exactly what you needed, but it gets you far enough on that communication chain to be able to hand it off to someone. Oh, I see. So this, yes, okay, great. And that's I feel is more empowering, because we're talking about coding and developing. I feel it's empowering for both sides. Empowering for the engineer, the tech person who gets it, who understands, but also the person on the other side who does it. And that's something that it's very powerful, incredibly powerful.
I'm wondering if I can communicate to my children with this.
So this is something that my mother had sent me. Okay, she likes doing crafts. Okay, so I took this picture and I ran it through a video model, and this is what it gave me.
I love that.
Oh wow!
And it's got to have spatial awareness, because if you look at that one that's right behind the faucet, it knows that
It knows
its
it's
leg
Yeah,
is a part of it.
And didn't make the faucet wiggle.
yeah. It's oh my god. I saw Neil deGrasse Tyson uploaded a video of him saying, "I've done some calculations and I believe
I
the
saw
Earth
that too.
is flat." And I'm like watching. I'm like, "What?"
I mean,
And then he pulls it away, like the camera. He's like, "Just so you know, that wasn't me.
Personally,
I never
though-
said it. It was a deep fake."
personally though, that video, it looked like a deep fake to me.
Really? It didn't at all.
Yeah.
No, I think
Well,
99.
I watch
Nah.
it all day long though, so I pick up on these very subtle cues.
Yeah. See, Jedi, my daughter, she says, "Oh, I know it's an AI video." Like there are times that you know it's an AI
Sure.
video, but I'm telling you, I was talking to my girlfriend Gretchen, and she was talking about something. I'm like, I think what you're talking about was generated by AI. I don't think that really happened. Sure, I'm like, I'm fairly confident that it sounds too good to be true.
You
It
can
sounds
really tell if you look at the mouth movement. If it looks a little weird, yeah, that's
But
dead
even
giveaway.
so subtle, and even that, the uncanny valley is getting, that chasm is getting crossed so rapidly.
They are. They're looking
Thank
better
you,
and better.
right? Like, it's incredible. It's incredible.
I'm not saying that they're bad at all.
No,
They're pretty
no,
good.
no.
I'm just saying I can still tell a little bit, but it is shrinking, like you said.
And hang on, Tech Jeeper created a candy corn grams. Are you kidding me? Where'd he go? Tech he dropped. He dropped just as soon as I see this. Right? Who's the lucky recipient? Tech Jeeper. So you can send a candy corn gram. You're the best part of the autumn season. Thanks for all you do. Copy candy gram message. Oh my gosh. Oh man. That's just great. At least it doesn't send real candy corns. That's where I'd start to get concerned. As long as we haven't crossed that chasm. Hey, if you like candy corn and waxy candy, knock yourself out. But like Peeps, Circus Peanuts,
Poor Peeps.
It's
are weird too.
Just all the
Yes.
horrible. Like why? Why? Like it's just. I get it. People are buying them, but that's the problem. They encourage the whole industry, and now it's a thing.
I was a little concerned yesterday after I dropped my daughter off to trick or treat. I went into the grocery store and they replaced all the Halloween candy with Christmas candy.
Oh yeah,
On Halloween,
Yeah.
it was replaced.
Yeah, we went. Yeah, like you can see, like even before, like if you go to Lowe's and everything too, like everything is just so
Really?
everything changed. Just
Yeah.
like
Who do they think they are? What about Thanksgiving?
Target
Respect.
Target had Halloween next to Christmas. Like they didn't even wait. It was just like happening. I'm like,
well, Costco even had Christmas stuff out. I think in
my gosh.
July, June or
Wow.
July. Like, yeah, it's crazy how
planning
the
ahead.
seasons turn so quickly. But they want to get every penny they can get, and they want to get it first. So
There's a whole nother game idea right there of just like being like, you don't like that it's Christmas, change it to Valentine's candy, change it to Thanksgiving candy.
But see, I wait till the
Just
sale.
swap it.
I wait until okay, it's 50% off. Great. Okay, that's when I'll wait. Halloween candy tastes just as good at Christmas time.
Gotta freeze it.
Maybe kind of pushing it, but Valentine's Day certainly. So if like someone gets like a Christmas tree,
Yeah.
is it like a Valentine's Day candy? I'm like, you don't know. It's just a Christmas tree. It's the same chocolate. It's just in a different mold. That's it. That's me.
Okay, but Christmas tree Reese's peanut butter cups actually taste better.
They really taste better.
I don't recommend more than like one a year, but they are good.
I'm like that with not lattes, the mocha, peppermint mocha, peppermint mochas. I get one a year. One.
They offer it year round. Just
Oh my
so you
God.
know.
Yeah,
Sorry
but
that I told you that. Ben.
if I don't limit myself, it's like I can have this all the time. Bad idea.
But you could have like a little like paper chain AI game that tells you when you can have another one.
Lindy, you just figured it. That's the next.
So Chris, if you, I sent you a link here. If you want to go to 152, this is one of the best deep fakes I've seen.
This is a deep fake.
Yeah, that's a deep fake, and it looks like her. Sounds just like her too, because she's actually going through 11 Labs and did one of their pro voices.
Julia McCoy.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is a deep fake.
Right.
The whole thing.
She well, so when it goes to the video, if it fades out to the videos of whatever, but yeah, that is a deep fake. Yes.
Wow. Chris, you could clone yourself, literally.
Dude,
you could.
I did. I did a whole stupid and I mean it was stupid, admittedly, very, very stupid. See if I can find it. I uploaded a couple silly
What if you are a deepfake right now? How do we not know? What's your secret code word?
Seriously, live deepfakes are happening. They're happening like
they've been happening for a while actually.
Big time.
We're gonna have to find a secret code, some sort of secret code generator to know that we're all real.
This is from Sora. That's not me.
Oh
and
yeah, I saw that on your Instagram.
Oh, it worked, but it worked so. I'm like, oh my god! Yeah. And the music was even better than the video. I'm like, no, seriously, it was like, dude, I really like this jam. This is a really cool thing.
That's like a workout video.
Yeah, but Gretchen, my girlfriend, was a little disconcerted when I was doing the rap. She's like, I really can't wait for you to move past this rap phase. Like
it's not a phase; it's for life.
I was having too much fun. I was having too much. I'm like, this is crazy. It's crazy.
Fun.
But it's happening.
Show them the video that I sent you a while back with Rocket, Rocket jumping into your lap. It should be up.
You have to pull it up again. I'm not. I get so much.
Hey, I gotta drop, guys.
All right, no worries, dude. And I think we're about ready to wind down too, because it's been a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got submissions. We've got people who vibe coded. We've got a variety of things to look at. I'll be sending out a survey to make sure we get everybody's feedback and direction and everything. Lindy, is there anything else that you wanted to say that hadn't been said?
I don't think so. I think it's just great that we're doing this, and it's so great to see the Discord channel so active and all these examples. Yeah. So folks haven't hopped on there. Like, I'm new to Discord, so no shame in saying that, but very easy to hop in and see what people are creating, and maybe it'll inspire you to make something.
I'm telling you, it's more fun than Slack.
Oh, that's a different topic for a different day. But I'm excited for us to do more of these.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that maybe we find a venue where we can do a LAN party inspired experience.
Oh, big time.
So pizzas like we had last time, but maybe there's some theme. Maybe people want to bring their jams. Who knows, right?
Oh yeah. You do it. Everything's possible.
Stock in Mountain Dew just for visuals, because most of us can't have caffeine anymore because we're too old. But
I thought I was the only one. I had to quit.
We'll have a visual of Mountain Dews, but then we'll offer tea, decaffeinated.
Decaf. Yeah, I'm on decaf full at this point. No, Lindy, again, I appreciate the support that
absolutely
you've given.
Our pleasure.
Not just on a personal level, obviously bringing the family. I think it's a fun way of spending a night, I'd hope.
Absolutely.
Thanks again for every's support. I've been sharing far and wide, obviously showing no signs of slowing down, and hope to have more information on the next one that's coming down the pike. But obviously, we have a community foundation to grow upon. So
for sure, I think Eli next time should vibe code on the back of a horse.
Wow, that would be something.
Yeah, we got to bring the viewers, right? Got to get people interested, intrigued.
It could happen.
I sent that video over.
Okay, you've got the you've got Wi-Fi down there in the barn.
Got a node down there, yeah.
As long as it's safe. I don't know the threshold there. I don't know if I would do it, but I would watch someone doing it. I'm like, that's right. I had no idea.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah.
No, I really, like I said, I really appreciate the support. Everybody who's out there. Thank you for joining. The archive will obviously still exist. All the links will still exist. The beautiful thing about having this on Discord is that that channel will still exist ad infinitum as an archive for this night in conjunction with this video. Every, again, coming in as the presenting sponsor, as they did with the in-person event. Hope to do more of those as well. As far as the 3D printer giveaway, when the survey goes out, make sure you and everybody who participated get your link in there, and then one will be drawn at random. That will be sent out. Thanks again to Google Jules and AK for joining and showing a little bit more about Google Jules earlier. That was amazing. I think he gave us insight that no one else knows yet. So it was really interesting. I'm like, if someone's listening, they've got one hell of a scoop. But I don't want to say anything more because that was kind of like, I think that was a little bit of an exclusive. Quite honestly, I'm like, wow, that's powerful. That was pretty amazing to hear. But yeah, thanks to everybody. Like I said, I'm happy to have made 2 hours. I figured that'd be a good amount of time for a good code jam. Get people, keep vibe coding, keep creating, keep sharing what you're doing, keep asking questions. Certainly, and when you're when you're ready to build it into a business or have an idea for that, talk to Lindy, talk to Every. They'll help get you going. As I said, C Corp registration for free right now.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. Trust me. That's money in the bank.
I heard from a couple of folks from the live event. They've already chatted with folks and they're moving forward. So that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some of their questions answered and they're feeling better about it. So that's great.
The more entrepreneurs, the better. It's not
Absolutely.
vibe coding. It's about entrepreneurship and that spirit of like creation and putting something out there and being a part of that. So yeah, it's amazing. And it's really good. I hope that your family's able to inspire mine as well. I'm trying to pull my daughter Jedi. I'm like, look, you can do this. Come on.
Get her to do it with Clara. Yeah.
I'm trying. I am. She's watching video, but she's not like doing it. She's not engaging with it. So yeah, for sure. But one day, slowly but surely, nudging her along, the more peer pressure, right? Like, hey, look, I created this. The better.
Yeah, let's play with it. Yeah.
So yeah, thanks again. It's very appreciated.
Everybody.
Great. Yeah, and I hope everyone has a solid weekend into the Christmas season. If the Halloween stuff is now done.
We've got Thanksgiving. We have Thanksgiving.
I know we have Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and Festivus.
Tonight's keyword, Thanksgiving. Festivus, that's right, coming up. I think Gretchen was going to ask about something around Thanksgiving, because I'm not sure what y'all are doing, what we're doing, but she had some question. I can't remember what it was. I don't know. It's in the air. But yeah.
Oh, Richie was so
Sounds like they're having fun.
They are. They're coding. They're having fun. I can't get my dragon quite ready to share yet, but it's alive. It's here.
It's on its way. It's on its way.
Yes. The mushrooms got too big, and I think that's just concerning.
It's about give and take. It's about making adjustments. It's
right?
Yes. Yeah, trust me. Once you get started with the stuff, it's like I have to push myself away because I will just keep going and going and going. But everybody, thanks again for tuning in, for participating. The hope is to continue to do more of these in person, virtual, everywhere in between. Yeah, keep vibe coding, keep sharing. Every Thursday night, I'm here. Or typically, most Thursdays, I'm just vibe coding, just very casually, showing things that I'm working on, answering questions, showing any kind of updates. So even if you weren't able to like latch on to anything tonight during the live event with a lot of participation, there's still a chance to kind of keep that ball rolling every week, beyond the simple stuff. Beyond the more like here event, things are happening. We're doing all this stuff at the same time, doing it every week. And just because I'm interested and I'm fascinated, there's never been a better time to be an entrepreneur. Very grateful for everybody's support, both on camera, off camera, virtually in person. I'm having fun. And I think that's the bottom line. Just have fun with this. If you can't have fun with it, what's the point? I know what the point is. The point is to have fun.
Absolutely.
Right? I think, right? Is the point to have fun?
Yeah. Bring those ideas to life.
That's the idea. Abiza, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. And you've been here, I think, pretty much the full broadcast. So it's very appreciated. I don't mind hosting these things at all. I love connecting. I love talking with people. Love showing what I'm doing. Love showcasing what other people. Sorry, this stupid dancing version of me has been going on in the background there that whole time. I'd tell you to follow me on Sora, but don't, because it's equally as embarrassing. So you're supposed to, the giveaway, I'll be sending out a survey link. If you go to the survey, with the survey, it'll be asking you, hey, where can people see your Vibe coded app? You submit that. I'll be posting the survey link in the Discord server. Make sure everybody gets it, so you can't miss it. I'm not going to leave you hanging on that front at all.
Okay. Maybe add a little checkbox in. Can we share this publicly? I would love to see those out in the world.
For sure. It's I think it's in the survey. Like, what's the public link for where it is that you can do it? So, yeah, I'm not fly for a geek guy, Tech Cheaper, not at all, not even close. Not even.
Not? Own it.
One of these days I'll vibe code a personality.
We could start. Should we start now?
Yeah, because I don't know what's going to happen otherwise. Hang on. We're literally winding down. I'm getting ready to end the broadcast.
No.
And you're like, I'm here to start with vibe coding. Time. He's on the other side of the world. Druid is one of our managers, moderators, amazing people who helps on MakerDeck 24/7.
I mean, you've got like 16 people on Twitch.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And then the other people
want to participate.
And then LinkedIn and X everywhere.
Yes.
Druid's just joking. Thank God. I'm like, oh my God, do I have to do this whole thing again?
Yeah.
For the people down under. So yeah, I
just give it a shot.
Well,
We'll just do it.
We've got to save something. We've got to save something for the next event.
True.
The next event. That's when we go. The next event. For sure. Because, more to come.